Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I'm playing in the white journal from Dina Wakley. I have added a little piece of collage tissue paper across the spine here, as you can see, just to try and help support the spine of the journal, but you know, sometimes they do just pop open, and that is just how it is. My journals tend to get quite packed with stuff, and so I think this is something that I've just come to accept, but I do try to just give it a little bit of support where I can. So as you can see, I'm working on the back of a cutout page and decided that I was going to go straight in with some black across the centre of my page. So I'm going to be adding lighter colours over the top of it. Really, this is just to give like a bit of a background, a start to the background, and start to create that contrast on the page. So this is quite an interesting way to start a page, really, is to kind of start off with that really bold colour on the background and work lighter, so you're kind of bringing the interest forwards on your page. Then I'm just spending a bit of time just adding some colour onto that cutout part, just so that it kind of worked front and back. Even though that wasn't part of this page, I haven't cut that out for this page, it was for the page behind. So yeah, like I say, just adding a bit of colour onto those. I think that's like a permanent red violet light, and then I've gone in with carnation in the centre. And then just adding in some circles. So again, I'm using the carnation, and this is the Circles for Painting stencil from Dina Wakley. One of my favourites, as you know. I think it's one of my favourites because several reasons. I love circles, and these circles are such the lovely difference in size that they've got means that you can create little calm spaces of colour, and you can kind of, like, as you can see, move it around and work it to your advantage. So then this, I'm pretty sure, is the permanent red violet light, again from Amsterdam Acrylic, and this I think is the floor tile stencil, and you can see I've just pulled that stenciling right across the centre of the page, almost in like kind of like a U shape, a stretched out U shape, and I'm just pulling it to the sides and the top and bottom, just so that it joins the edges of the page, really. And then I'm just going back in, lining the stencil back up and just darkening up some areas. This is one of the coaster stencils from Dina, and here I've just added a little bit of sky in with the orchid, and it's made a really pretty lilac colour. I think orchid is one of my new favourites from Dina's paints. As you know, I'm very drawn to the pinks and purples, and obviously the rainbow colours too, but I think if I'm not using rainbow colours, I can often be found using these pinks and purple colours. So then I'm just using my black fine liner pen, and I'm just doing some sketchy lines around the edges of these circles, and all that does is just helps to pull them forwards out of the background. And again, you're adding to the layers of your page. So I've got really exciting news about this stamp. This one came as part of my Journal Marks stamp set with Funky Fossil, and I was speaking to Sarah the other day and asking her if we could possibly get it made as a stamp just on its own. I'm getting lots of questions about how to get hold of it, and unfortunately at the minute it's only part of the Journal Marks stamp set, and I don't have any of those available on my website. So fingers crossed, very soon it will be coming as a stamp all on its own. And then I'm just using some sky and adding some gloss spray splatters to my page. Okay, so then I'm using the Scribbled Birds stamp set from Dina, and I'm stamping that onto some printer paper. I'm just going to choose some birds to add onto there. And I am stamping using some archival ink. So then I'm just cutting them out, and you can see they work quite well against the bold background. So just working out where to put them. And then I'm just creating a little calm space. So I've got a little bit of white left on my blending tool, and you can see I'm just creating like a little area of calm where the little bird can sit. Blending tool was not playing ball there, just so that, because the background's quite busy, I didn't want the birds to get lost on there. So gosh, that was alive, wasn't it? I'm just using a glue stick to stick those down. So you can see how just by adding that little area of calm behind it, it helps them to stand out a bit better. And then I'm going in with a Stabilo oil pencil, and I'm just outlining those birds a little bit more, darkening up those outlines. So next I'm going in with my Posca pen. See, sometimes I do still do the dots by hand, although more often than not I use the stamp that I made for Funky Fossil, just because it's so quick and easy, and you can still layer it. But however, if I want to kind of create a more heavily dotty area, then I would still do it by hand. So then just to make those birds stand out even more, I am just very quickly water activating those Stabilo oil pencil lines. Obviously, don't forget that I stamped these on printer paper, so kind of because that paper isn't designed for wet media, once it's water activated, that is where it's going to stay, and you can't really pull it out from there. So I had to kind of move quite quickly and just think, well, whatever happens, happens, and that's how it is going to be. Then as my quotes, I decided that I would use one of the quotes on the typed ledger papers. And once that was stuck down and outlined, I then wanted to just bring a bit of brightness to the page. So I'm using the neon paint Stoked from Dina Wakley and just adding a few areas of brighter pink to the background. You can see it brings a warmth to the page as well, just adding those little bits. And here I was just using up what was left over, really. It may well have added too much, but you know, by this point you think I don't actually care, it doesn't matter. I really like how it looks. So it was more than about just making sure that the page felt quite balanced and not too top heavy in any one place. Then just going in with the blue neon as well, because why not? Once you've started, you might as well keep going. And those colours do work well with the colours that I've already got on my page. And then just because my Signo Uniball pen was on my desk, I decided I would add some drawn circles on there too, of different sizes, around where my white dots are. I really like how that looks. It kind of, just that sort of doodly sort of way of creating those areas of pattern and marks, just brings an extra level, an extra dimension to the journal page. So don't be afraid to let loose with your own marks on your pages. And then giving that a quick dry, that was this page finished. So a great way to use black to your advantage, really, to start off with that bold background stripe of colour. Give it a try, it's lots of fun. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.